Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. It's Johnny Millwater live, coming to you live once again from our home here at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina. Whoop, no background. I hate it when it does that. Wish I understood why. We'll see if we can't fix it later. But right now, things are going well. I'm healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. I hope everybody's feeling good. I've had a very nice week. I added a whole bunch of new stuff this week. Let's go to the chat, shall I? I'll tell you about it. Whoop, I'm not even in there yet. Hold on. Gotta push the... Hold it. I need stage hands. There we go. There I am. Hey, and the background's even there. It's been a fun week. We added a couple cool new things to the wheel this week. We have Roses and Thorns, which we've talked about before. That's just where everybody tells us the best thing that happened to them this week and maybe a hard thing that happened to them this week. And we can share our adventures that way. And the other thing I added to the wheel was Show and Tell, which is me showing some cool pictures that I have lying around. So hope we get to enjoy that. Right now, I believe it's just me and... Oh, Julia's here too. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Julia. Thank you for coming in. Julia, for those of you that, wait, Julia, I don't believe you've met Red yet. Red is one of my best friends from Wales, probably my best friend from Wales. He's a Welshman who lives here in North Carolina now with his wonderful wife and family, and we used to do a TV show called Real Americans with Butch and Skeeter together. He was one of the guys who helped me create the Butch character, and now he's just my friend who lives in North Carolina, so that's fun. And Julia is my very first Twitch fan. Red. She's the first person who didn't know me personally to ever watch one of my streams, I think. So I'm happy to have you both. Let's bring you up to speed on what Red. Now, Red's very excited because we've got the sonnet. Red's into sonnets. His favorite one is 116. He actually tuned in on the day that we are on 115. We are going to get to 116. So he wrote a couple things about that. I believe that he wrote that Bending Sickle is the constellation of Ursa Major, Big Dipper, keep that in mind, and the people use to find Polaris, which is the North Star. Bark is a ship. I have no idea why that is. Any idea why bark is a ship? Okay, the height be taken is the active navigator on a ship, measuring the height so they can calculate their latitude. Also where Mark Twain's name come from, I believe. But maybe I shouldn't be doing critical analysis and we should just listen to the beautiful language. I agree with both. I like both. Me, I like to do the language, then the analysis, but it's all good. It'll add some extra color when we read it. I never writ, nor no man ever loved. That would be Shakespeare flexing. Yeah, it would. And now Julie is here, and she says, hello! I imagine that's the way you say it. Hello! I don't know if that's true, but hi. Ooh, new stuff. Hello, Red. We are caught up. Isn't it cool how the name Johnny changes color now? That's exciting. And if you look really closely, the floor and the wall on the far right side are all, and the bricks behind me are all moving slowly, always constantly flexing, because nothing is permanent, and I thought that was fun to explore. All right, so then she wrote, I believe that's it. Good deal. Let's spin the wheel. Our first spin of the day. I miss this stuff. I really, really enjoy it. Ask me anything. Well, that's exciting. We got two people in the chat. We can actually do Ask Me Anything. Let's go back to the chat, shall we? You know how it works. 60 seconds on the clock, my friends. Let me put the clock up there. See how much of that works. Yep, usually disappears right afterwards. Never have been able to understand why. There you go. But if we do it again, it'll stay. Weird, right? 60 seconds on the clock. Whatever you'd like to know. 60 seconds to ask me anything about stand-up comedy and about fun. Anything that's not about, why bark is a ship, because I don't know. I like this part of the moon. Makes me look like I have a halo. It's kind of fun. All right, 30 seconds left. Type your stuff. You know how this works. All the stuff you type, I'm going to come back and answer it. I should be doing something entertaining now. Can't think of a single thing. Oh, wait, Red said something nice. I learned how to do highlight. Watch this. See? So, anytime I want to put a certain chat up on the screen, I can hit a button and do that now. That's new. 10 seconds left, people. Ask me any questions. Bark is a ship because it's made of wood. This is valid. That's how you can tell a ship is not a witch. Okay. Time is up. Let's take a look at the questions. And we'll come back. Let's spin the wheel. stuff. Wisdom, good. I got some new stuff for that too. Let me lay down some wisdom for you from on high. I've collected some Eckhart Tolle. As you know, I'm a big fan of Alan Watts and Jack Kornfield, but now I've dived into some Eckhart Tolle, and I want to share some of it with you. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but it's also very possible that I'm not. Either way, it's funny. Here's something wise that Eckhart Tolle said. Eckhart Tolle? Tolle? Instead of reacting to the content that arises in your life, thoughts, external events, other people, the scenery, and so on, allow the content to be. That is, instead of identifying with what arises in you now, become aware of the now itself, beyond the phenomena that arise in it. To become aware of the now itself means that you become aware of the stillness that underlies everything. I'm a big fan of stillness. I get it wherever I can. Let's have some now. Stillness. All right. Let's see what's going on. Uh-oh. Whoop, wrong button. Something went horribly wrong there. I don't know what it is, but I'm working on it. Oh, here are the questions. The questions didn't arrive yet. It is a very big delay, and I don't know how to fix it. I've done a lot of Googling, and nobody seems to know. All right, here's a couple of fun questions. The first one is, I am such a New Englander. Oh, this is great. I'm such a New Englander. I never venture below BC, but maybe one day. Well, I sure hope you come down there. You'd have a great time. Question. In the intro, you get strangled by someone. That's Alaba. Thank you so much for watching the intro. Okay, this is really cool. A couple of years back, I was working constantly on cruise ships, and I saw something going on in the comedy scene where everybody was, it just wasn't up to where it ought to be, I thought. So I thought it would be funny. Plus, I wanted to cut my hair short. I had nice long curly hair, and I wanted to cut it completely short. So, you know what? This is a good one. Let's go to the close-up for this one. There it is. And I decided I wanted to sort of act a fool and do something interesting. So I, being a giant wrestling fan, I decided I wanted to do a hair versus hair match. So I would be a heel. The idea is a heel's a bad guy in wrestling, as I'm sure you know. And I went into the Charlotte Comedy Scene Facebook page. And I did a big, long post about how everybody sucks and nobody's funny and they should all be working harder, just trying to get everybody mad at me. And then I spent the 2 days, I was on a beach in Cozumel, playing on my phone for 2 days. Just every single person who made a comment, I just posted something else insulting. Just trying to get everybody mad at me, and it worked really, really well. And then the idea was Evan Pitfield, who's a friend of mine with very long, very luxurious hair. He was supposed to be the good guy. He's supposed to come in and defend the Charlotte Comedy Scene. And then I insult him, and he insults me, and I insult him. And there's like, oh yeah, well I'm funnier than you. Yeah, well I'm funnier than you. Well, let's prove it. Let's have a match. We'll let the audience choose who's the funniest. It's like, oh yeah, well let's raise the stakes. Let's do a hair versus hair match, where one of us will be shaved bald live on the stage. We didn't say it at that point because we didn't want it to sound set up. And nobody knew it was set up. It was pretty great. So the day comes, and on the day, after I've spent a whole week just trashing everybody in town, making everybody hate me so that they'll come to the show and see how it turns out, Evan cancels on me, all right? He's out. He won't come. He's afraid of getting in trouble because there's so much heat. So many people are mad. So I'm here at the show. I got about 3 hours left. So I call two wrestlers that I know. I call Keith David, not Keith David, that's a brilliant singer and actor. Keith Mack, the party man, and a man who at the time was known as Montana Black. He's a big 7-foot guy. He's the guy who actually chokes me out. And I say, all right, here's what we're going to do. We'll pick some random person out of the audience, right? We'll just have an open challenge. I'm funnier than anybody here, and they'll come up. The audience will boo me because they hate me. They'll win, and you shave my head. But obviously, I'm not going to sit still to have my head shaved. So the idea was that he would choke me out. He would put a sleeper hold on me after I refused to have my head shaved, and then my head would be shaved while I was unconscious. I'll show you guys the tape sometime. So that's exactly what we did, and my head got shaved. Tyrone Burston, a comedian from here in Charlotte, he came in and played the good guy. And it was a very, very memorable night. And some people are still mad about it. So there you go. Let's go back to the chat chalet. Now, Julia says, uh-oh, my brain is mush. I sincerely doubt that. Julia also says, what's the best wisdom you received about doing stand-up? There's really... There's a million details, but the best advice is fewer words, more laughs. That's all there is. Just fewer words, more laughs. Laughs per minute is where it's all about. You got to get it dense. There's a difference between a good laugh and a bad laugh, and the truth is funnier than things that aren't true. I think those are the three. Excellent question. Thanks for asking. Redvers asked, have you ever met a hero that you regretted since it changed your view of them? That's a very good question. Let me think. I met the Muppets. They were awesome. I met Jim Gaffigan. He was awesome. Yeah, my heroes are mostly people who are just very sweet people. I'm trying to think. I must have met a couple of jerks down the line, but none of them that really stood out that were heroes of mine. That made me sad. Dave Attell. I met Dave Attell, and that made me sad because I rubbed him the wrong way. He didn't like me. I asked him if he wrote his jokes in iambic pentameter, and then he just sort of stared at me and walked away. Because he does. I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, so I was curious. But that's about it. But I kind of knew who he was. Great question. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Favorite comedian, Brian Regan, without question. Brian Regan's the top guy. John Mulaney's up there. Patton Oswalt's brilliant. Chris Rock is just better and better every time I see him. Let's see. Sarah Silverman. I saw Sarah Silverman last night. She is astonishingly good. So naturalistic and so sweet and lovable and precise. I've never seen cuteness done so surgically. She's amazing. Wanda Sykes is amazing. Super tight. George Carlin all time, without question. But yeah, John Mulaney and Brian Regan are both. Thanks for asking. Did you let your wife practice drawing blood on you? I did not. No. I have a problem with needles and blood, and I didn't want to associate that with her. That's a great one. The delay is killer. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what to do. Bad Facebook, no cookie. I guess it's... Wait, don't you have to answer the questions? That's a good point. My idea was to leave the questions. Come, you see, we're there now. Julia said, oh, is it because of the delay? LOL, must be a big delay. Indeed it is. There is... Hey, Jessica's here! There's a delay on the chat. I love the dog. It looks like your current foster. I had to use a computer dog. I have a real dog, Starbuck. Her mother was a boxer and her father was a Rolling Stone. I don't know what care she is. But, oh my goodness gracious. So that dog looks the closest to my dog. I can't get my dog to sit still on a green screen, but I keep trying. Isn't that cute? Dad's here. Oh my goodness gracious. Everybody's coming out. Dad is here. Welcome, Dad. Thanks for coming, James. That's my dad. Jessica Caldwell is my childhood friend. I'm so happy to see you, Jessica. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You know, I had a revelation about you the other day. I was just flipping through your Facebook, and I enjoy, you have such a wonderful Facebook, because you're always going on adventures, going to pretty places, going on boats and stuff. And I thought that I was into bikini pictures. I thought that mostly it was just you in bikinis, but it's not. It's the smile. And 9/10 of your show, 9/10 of your posts, you're fully covered. You have a great big smile, and it feels the same way as looking at cleavage. Is there a higher compliment? I don't know, but I offer it to you. You're a lovely person, and the smiles that you post make my day. Let's see. Christy Goff Low. This is amazing. Christy Goff. Do I remember when you would drive through North Point on your bike playing the spoons? Wow. Out of context, this is crazy. Christy, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. I haven't talked to you in forever. Christy was my neighbor and childhood friend. She was the first fist fight I was ever in. I believe I lost that fight. Time calls. And then after that, I was always trying to impress her. She had a little crush on her probably, and I was trying to impress her. So I learned how to play the spoons because that's the kind of dude I was. So one day I was visiting her house, and I played the spoons for her family because I had the hey, look at me disease. And that's not great. But yes, I do remember that, Christy. Thank you very much. All right, we're all caught up in the chat. Type anything else you want. Apparently there's a big long lag. I don't know how to fix it, but I'll be back. Here we go. Oh my word, it's Ed Mabry. How are you, sir? one of my favorite entertainers in the world. Glad to see you, boss. I miss you a lot. Wish you were here. All right, let's go do the wisdom. Let's do some more Eckhart Tolle. He taught us that becoming aware of now also means realizing that you are the now, and noticing the observer that witnesses life's events with detachments without being possessed by them. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to do one more. The underlying stillness is underneath and between all of your thoughts. In fact, it surrounds all the content of your life. Big fan of stillness. I gotta respect that. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, look at this. What is this? No. Hold on, folks. I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. You guys ask me anything, type something in the chat, but I gotta fix this. Look at, that's sloppy. It's sloppy. I have to go to the crop pad, and then I go left. Nice. And then right. That's much, much nicer, don't you think? Nice clean lines, get me behind the thing. All right. Sorry you had to witness that. I was waiting for somebody to write some more stuff in the chat. Nothing's there. So let's spin the wheel. Wrong button. I hit the live chat button. Hey, check that out. Ed Mabry sends love. It means a lot. Coming from you, Ed. Thank you. Fist fight. You don't remember that? So good to see you. Oh, I definitely remember that. That was my very first fight. Yeah, I think it was over sharing a bike or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, you hit me a few times, and I was going to hit you, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. Probably pushed you. I think we were in second grade, maybe first. Anyway, we're cool. Where are you nowadays, Christy? You still in Tampa? You married? You got kids? Ooh, monologue! Yay! All right, I'm psyched about this. Okay, I have collected a whole bunch of Rowan Atkinson monologues that I've wanted to work on for quite some time. Rowan Atkinson, of course, the great British comedian and writer. Let's not forget what a brilliant writer he is. So I've collected a couple of those. Let's do one of those right now. This one is called Fatal Beatings. Once again, Fatal Beatings. Well, now, Mr. Perkins, it was good of you to come. I realize that you are a busy man, but I don't think this could be discussed over the electric telephone. Quite frankly, Tommy is in trouble. Recently, his behavior has left a great deal to be desired. He seems to take no interest in school life whatsoever. He refuses to muck in the sports field, and it's weeks since any master has received any written work from him. Quite frankly, Mr. Perkins, if he wasn't dead, I'd have him expelled. Yes, expelled! If I wasn't making allowances for the fact that your son is dead, he'd be out on his ear. That's right. Yes, he's lying up in the sick bay now, stiff as a board and bright green, and it's very typical of his current attitude. You see, the boy has no sense of moderation. One moment he's flying around like a paper kite, and the next moment he's completely immovable and beginning to smell. You're probably wondering how he died. Well, it's all got to do with the library, you see. We've had a lot of trouble recently with boys taking out library books without library cards. Your son was caught, and I administered a beating, during which he died. But you'll be glad to know the ringleader was caught, so I don't think we'll be having any more trouble with library discipline. You see, the library card system, Yes, I beat your son to death. Yes, please, I'm not used to being interrupted. You see, the library call system was introduced. How did it happen? Well, apparently the boys were just slipping into the library and taking the books. Oh, the beating! Yes, well, one minute he was bending over, the next he was lying down, dead-ish. Mr. Perkins, I find this rather morbid fascination with your son's death quite disturbing. What I am talking about is his attitude, and quite frankly, I can see where he gets it from. It was perfectly obvious to me his first day here, I fear. I wondered then, as I wonder now, if he hadn't turned out very different boy indeed if you had administered a few fatal beatings early on. I'm furious. In order to accommodate the funeral, I've had to cancel afternoon school on Wednesday. The whole situation is preposterous. Or at least it would be, if it were true. I've been joking, Mr. Perkins. Pardon me, it's my strange academic sense of humor. I've been pulling your leg. I wouldn't cancel afternoon school to bury that little shit. And scene. Huh? How about that Rowan Atkinson, everybody? You don't do much better than that guy. He's very funny. All right, let's go back to the chat, shall we? Good to see my face. I miss you, Christy. I hope you're doing well. Say hi to everybody who we know. And then Ed asked if I could perform any place, any stage, any venue. What's your dream place? I'd like to play Carnegie Hall. I would very much like to play Carnegie Hall. I'm doing a show at the Booth Playhouse next week, so I'm starting to make connections there, which is a really beautiful theater here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I can work on my stage show there, and then maybe I can move it to, other theaters, and who knows. But I'm at stage 1 of 700 of that. But yes, I would love to play Carnegie Hall. I love old theaters. I love history. It's a great question. How about you? Ed's a fantastic entertainer in his own right. He's amazing. Oh, Julia says she loves the monologues. Thank you very, very much. I sincerely appreciate all the positive feedback you give me. You're the greatest. That was great. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. Red says, I've known teachers like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, we still have teachers that would hit us. Yes, I did too. I got spanked a lot as a young man, so, yeah. Anywho, let's spin the wheel. I still had the principal with the wooden paddle with the holes in it. Shakespeare! Let us head down to the Shakespeare stage. The Shakespeare stage, we are currently making our way through the sonnets. As most of you know, Shakespeare wrote over 150 sonnets. We are currently on number 115, only one sonnet away from the much anticipated sonnet 116. This again is sonnet 115 by William Shakespeare. Those lines that, don't need the voice. Those lines that I before have writ do lie. Even those that said that I could not love you dearer, yet then my judgment knew no reason why my most full flame should afterwards burn clearer. But reckoning time, whose millioned accidents creep in twixt vows and change decrees of kings, tan sacred beauty, blunt the sharpest sentence, divert strong minds to the course of altering things, alas. Why, fearing of time's tyranny, might I now, then say, now I love you best. When I was certain o'er uncertainty, crowning the present, doubting the rest. Love is a babe, then might I not say so, to give full growth to that which still doth grow. 115. Only one more to go, folks. I'm excited too. Let's spin the wheel. Uh-oh. There we go. Everything's fine. No new spin the wheel. Hey, Red. I only know the teachers from England and Wales and Great Britain based on sketches from Benny Hill. Are they actually like that? Do you wear their shorts and I wonder what it's like. Ooh, Roses and Thorns. Oh, I'm so excited. It's a brand new feature. Roses and thorns, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting. Okay, this is just something that I heard, I believe it was John C. McGinley mentioned on a podcast. It's a conversation starter he has with his kids at dinner every night, and so do I. It's called Roses and Thorns. You say something good that happened to you and something bad that happened to you over the past week. I'd like one from each of you. Rose, colon, something interesting. Thorn, colon, something interesting. For me, my rose, I saw Sarah Silverman. I had a date with my wife, and it was spectacular. She had an opening act who was very, very funny, whose last name was Franklin, and whose first name starts with an M. I don't want to give you more information than that. I thought it would make it more fun if it was more mysterious. It's not that I forgot. I'm just trying to build the suspense. It was a great show at Ovens Auditorium. I did not expect Sarah Silverman to want to play Ovens, but she picked it, and she did. She filled it out. Thousands of people there. Great show, 2 hours. Not a lot of hassles getting in and out, and I got to spend time laughing with my wife. I had a blast. And my thorn is, let's see, really bad cough this week. And yeah, no real disappointments. It's all been pretty great. I saw Sarah Silverman on Saturday. I did 2 shows at the Stage Door Theater, not performing, but doing graphics, which is a whole new experience for me. It's a whole new level of excitement. You still get that feeling of being in the show, but you don't get stage fright. It's a different chemical mix helping with the graphics, and I really like it. So that was fun. Yeah, I can't think of a single thorn. That kind of optimism makes things great, but I know you guys have roses and thorns, so let's talk about them. Now, Red says, Red says that he might be bouncing in his seat. It said, oof, a lot of thorns this week. I'm so sorry to hear that, Julie. I know in your line of work, you're dealing with a lot of thorns. Tell me all about it. Damn, do I have a thorn. I hope you'll tell me about it, Red. Please type it up. Ed, he says, I want to do the Walt Disney Concert Hall and the front porch of the house I grew up in. Very, very nice. I think you could probably get the front porch cheaper, but you could do both. I've never been to the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Is that in Florida or is that in California? Ooh, that sounds like fun, Julia, once again, with the enthusiasm. Now, Red said that his thorn is a treasure hunter found a WW2 dog tag. And I and a few other people traced his family tree to find his remaining living relative to return it to them. They didn't want it. Yep, that's what that says. That's where that story ends. They didn't want it. Okay. I'll take it. That is weird. Why? Why did you do that? Treasure hunter, you and a few other people traced his family tree to find his remaining. You know, Julia's thorn, she says she was wrongly accused of lying at work for the first time. Oh no! Well, obviously you wouldn't lie. I don't know you that well, but I can tell you're a straightforward, positive person who wouldn't lie. And, your roses, you're working on an event and an amazing food truck offered to donate their time. That's so cool. What kind of food truck? And they're probably still going to charge for the food, right? But still, what kind of food? I'm a Euro falafel man myself when it comes to the food trucks. That's what I get when I'm in the city. That's great news. I'm glad you got that hooked up. This is great. I like roses and thorns. I still am intrigued by the treasure hunting aspect. Feel free to type as much as you can about that, because I am sincerely interested. Now, enough of this. Let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare! Excellent. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up, suckers. The time has come for your favorite sonnet and mine, number 116. Ladies and gentlemen, Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. Discuss. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, which means ship, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Nice. I've only read it once, so I can't really give that much information on it. Was it? We should go back to the chat? All right. Oh my goodness gracious, my sister-in-law's here. Hi, Ellen. Welcome. Oh, this is great. Okay, so let's see. We were talking about the treasure hunter. A treasure hunter found a World War II dog tag, and you and a few other people traced their family back. Now, that's where we left off. Just bringing you up to speed. Now, it turns out, Red tells me, that 3 to 4 days, 8 or so people putting in all this work, and it resulted in apparently reminding someone of their abusive grandfather. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Julia says it's kind of Mexican-inspired fried avocado balls. Ooh! Oh, I want a fried avocado ball. I never had a fried avocado ball. Oh, here, Ellen's here. Hi, I'm so happy. Ellen is my wife's sister and a wonderful medical professional down in Florida with her husband, Ellen. No, wait, that's Pedro. Okay. Julia says, oh, sorry, that must have been tough. Families are complicated. How true that is, especially when they're not yours. And Thorn, leg cramp woke me up. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Happens to me all the time. Rose, that caused me to tune in to this show. Oh, Ed, you're the greatest. We got to send in some of your poems, man. If you ever want to see a weird fat white guy read some of your work, I'd be interested in doing it. Ed is a brilliant professional poet and performance artist of his own right, as I'm sure I've told you. Wow, this is great. Look at all these cool people. Well, let's spin the wheel. Well, for those of you tuning in, I do it every Sunday at 11. What do we got there? Roses and Thorns. We already covered that one. Poem! Let's head down to the Poetry Pagoda. Let's do Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll, which I believe was Julia's very first request and the beginning of me collecting poetry to read for the nice people. Uh-oh. That's weird. Let's not worry about it. Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toads did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves and the mome raths outgarabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh, Calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome's wrath outgarabe. Ah, thanks everybody. All right, back to the chat. After this wheel. Good morning, Charlie. Roses and thorns. That's something new we just added, Charlie. It's roses or something bad that happened to you last week. Roses are something good, and thorns are something bad. Okay. It all makes sense. Wow, long wheel today. Already did 2 Shakespeares. Come on now. So maybe pick something arbitrarily. I'll do it. I have the authority. Wisdom! Let's lay down some wisdom from on high. Eckhart Tolle taught us that meditating in the morning will help you begin the day in the undercurrent of stillness. A lot of talk about stillness from this guy. Stillness is important. You know, most people are not aware of the field. They're only aware of what happens in the field. In fact, it's not just that they're only aware of what happens in the field, but they identify with what happens in the field in their search for self. I don't know what that means. Do you? One more? Okay. Fear of loss is when you identify with part of the content, with something in the external world, and you think that if you lose it, you'll lose part of who you are. For example, when you tell yourself that without this or that, I'm no one. I prefer Alan Watts. Let's go back. Chat! Oh, this is so exciting. Charlie is here. Charlie is writing all the way in from the Turks and Caicos Islands. This is so exciting. Red is my buddy from Wales. Charlie is also British. I believe she's from England. If you guys want to talk about chips or something. And I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for coming. Oh, here's some roses. Red tells me that today is Hindu Temple Day, so seemingly infinite amazing food day. I gotta find the good food. Probably vegetarian food, but still good. I apologize for my tardiness. Don't give it a second thought. Any second that you're here is a second that makes the show better. Today, Charlie, I've seen 2 childhood friends, people I knew in kindergarten. My dad's here. A couple of my friends from Florida. It's been an exciting day. So, my sister-in-law is watching. How about that? So I can't cuss. My sister-in-law tuned in for a minute. Isn't that great? So it's been a lot of fun. And, of course, Julia, who I believe I introduced you to last week, who is the very first streaming fan I ever had. She's the original, and I'm crazy about her. So everybody's up to speed. Anything you want to talk about, type it in the chat. I'll wait. But first, let's spin the wheel. Wow, Shakespeare. What is up with that? I love Shakespeare. I do. You can't do too much of it. You gotta keep balance. Ooh, poem. Let's go down to the Poetry Pagoda. This one is a little bit darker, but I absolutely love it. Let me see if I can find it here. It's going to be great. It's called Obeyed by Philip Larkin. Obeyed by Philip Larkin. I work all day and get half drunk at night. Waking at 4 to soundless dark, I stare. In time, the curtain edges will grow light. Till then, I see what's really always there. Unresting death, a whole day nearer now, making all thought impossible, but how and where and when I shall myself die. Arid interrogation, yet the dread of dying and being dead flashes afresh to hold and horrify. The mind blanks at the glare, not in remorse, the good not done, the love not given, the torn off unused, not wretchedly because an only life can take so long to climb, clear of its wrong beginnings and may never, but at the total emptiness forever, the sure extinction that we travel to and shall be lost in always. Not to be here, not to be anywhere, and soon, nothing more terrible, nothing more true. This is a special way of being afraid, no trick dispels. Religion used to try, that vast, moth-eaten musical brocade, created to pretend we never die, and specious stuff that says no rational being can fear a thing it will not feel, not seeing that this is what we fear. No sight, no sound, no touch or taste or smell, nothing to think with, nothing to love or link with, the anesthetic from which none come round. And so it stays just on the edge of vision, a small, unfocused blur, a standing chill that slows each impulse down to indecision. Most things may never happen. This one will. And realization of it rages out in furnace fear when we are caught without people to drink. Or drink. Courage is no good. It means not scaring others. Being brave lets no one off the grave. Death is no different whined at than withstood. Slowly, light strengthens, and the room takes shape. It stands plain as a wardrobe, what we know, have always known, know that we can't escape, yet can't accept. One side will have to go. Meanwhile, telephones crouch, getting ready to ring in locked-up offices, and all the uncaring, intricate, rented world begins to rouse. The sky is white as clay with no sun. Work has to be done. Postmen, like doctors, go from house to house. Obeyed by Philip Larkin. It's beautiful. Jaroslav, hold on. What do we got? Oh my goodness gracious. Good morning, Mr. M. Apologies. What's of Johnny? Hey, Chris, thanks for coming, buddy. Nice to see you. Appreciate you sticking your head in. This is the show. If you got anything you want to talk about, drop in the chat. We'll talk about it. Now, Red says, thanks, Julia. I have a friend who monitors eBay for family Bibles. Sure. She then traces the family trees to reach out to people to let them know that it's for sale. Wow, that's crafty. Awesome meeting you on a Carnival cruise. Always a pleasure. Do you remember which ship it was? Did we get to sit and talk? Did we have lunch? Now, Red, he says trying to restore the books back to their families. That sounds like a fascinating line of work and a TV show I would watch. Now, Redford says, oh, there's a lot of weeping angel behind you, Johnny. Nobody blink. There's a weeping angel behind me. What? Huh? What? Oh, during the poetry thing. I got you. Hello from Poland. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's Yaroslav. Yaroslav, or Yarek, as we call him here in the States. Yarek is also the original international fan of the Real Americans with Butch and Skeeter show. He watched, I believe, third or fourth stream with Butch. He and Julia would come in and they're in love. He lives in Poland. She lives in Connecticut, which is far from Poland, depending on your knowledge of geography. And they would update me week to week on their love and their stories and their visits of each other, and it just makes me incredibly happy. Glad you're both here. I'm glad you found the show. Welcome, my friend. A hive of activity, right? His mom, no doubt. Welcome. Believe it or not, I have on my keyboard, on my keyboard that looks like a fancy symbol of some kind. Oh, his L. It's weirdo L. Probably called a Polish L or something. Brits talk about the weather, not chips. Still foggy today. Yes, I understand it's going to be rainy tomorrow. It's my impression of British people talking about the weather. Now, Charlie says she is indeed a Brit abroad. Well, that's fun to say. It's rainy and dull here today. I've been stuck down with the dreaded COVID, but I get to be here. I'm so sorry you're not feeling well, but that's what this is all about, is to bring comfort to people who can't go out and have fun. So, hi. I so hope you feel better soon. Catch your breath. Breathe through your nose if you can. Send in love. And Red says he's in the U.S. He certainly is. He's a little on the cold side here, but the sun is bright, and it's that kind of attitude that makes this country great. And Wales. Julia says that Yarek might be a little easier than Yaroslav. It might be, but I like saying it. I like to put it on my barbecue sandwich. No, that's coleslaw, not Yaroslav. Oh, American humor. Now, Yaroslav, he says to me, hi, hello, I heard you're streaming here. Glad to see you. I missed you. I missed you, too. How are you? How are things up there? How are things? You gave me the name of your city once, but it was just a sad, sad state of affairs when I was trying to pronounce it. Now, Red says that note to Johnny, Brits talk about weather, not chips, and it was the Carnival glory, and yes, we did talk. Excellent. Well, it's nice to see you. Where are you now? Where do you guys live? Everybody check in. We'll do ASL. Remember ASL? Remember age, sex, and location? Is anybody old enough to remember that? I am 44. I am not having sex, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's spin the wheel. You had a swoof. Oh, I thought it was sloth. Well, you sure he's saying it right? All right, let's spin the wheel. More wisdom. Let's dig back in. A lot of wisdom today. Must need it. Eckhart Tolle taught us, you'll live in a state of continuous joy, no matter what arises, when you realize that what arises isn't that important. What arises is just consciousness playing with form. Yeah. Monologue! Yay, I picked out a whole bunch of great new monologues. Let's go to the theater. Let's see, this one should go pretty well, unless Ellen's still watching. This is another monologue from Rowan Atkinson. This is entitled, And Now from Nazareth. This is a preacher character. And on the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. And it came to pass that all the wine was drunk. And the mother of Jesus said unto the Lord, They have no more wine. And Jesus said unto the servants, Fill 6 water pots with water. And they did so. And then the steward of the feast did taste of the water from the pots. It had become wine. And they knew not whence it had come. But the servants did, and they applauded loudly in the kitchen. And they said unto the Lord, How in the hell did you do that? And inquired of him, Do you do children's parties? And the Lord said, No. But the servants did press him, saying, Go on, give us another one. And so he brought forth a carrot, and said, Behold this, for it is a carrot. And all about him knew that it was so, for it was orange with a green top. And he did place a large red cloth over the carrot, and then removed it. And lo, he held in his hand a white rabbit. And all were amazed and said, This guy's really good. He should turn professional. And they brought him on a stretcher a man who was sick of the palsy. And they cried unto him, Maestro, this man is sick of the palsy. And the Lord said, If I had spent my whole life on a stretcher, I'd be pretty sick of the palsy too. And they were filled with joy and cried out, Lord, thy one-liners are as good as thy tricks. Thou art indeed an all-round family entertainer. And there came unto him a woman called Mary, who had seen the Lord and believed. And Jesus said unto her, Put on a tutu and lie down in this box. And took he forth a sword and cleft her in twain. And there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But Jesus said, O ye of little faith! And he threw open the box, and lo, Mary was whole. And the crowd went absolutely bananas. And Jesus and Mary took a big bow. And he said unto her, From now on you shall be known as Trixie, for that is a good name for an assistant. And the people said unto him, We have never seen anything like this. You shouldn't be wasting your time in a one-camel town like Cana. You should be playing the big arenas in Jerusalem. And Jesus did hearken upon their words, and he did go unto Jerusalem, and he did his full act before the scribes and the Pharisees and the Romans. But alas, it did not please them in their hearts. In fact, they absolutely crucified him. Here ends the lesson. Rowan Atkinson, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't get much better than that. Wish I could write that good. Wait, hey, we got some more stuff. Let's go. Whoop, wrong one. Got some people in the chat. This is exciting. Now, Charlie says that Glory was her first ship with Carnival. That's a nice. I think I've only done that one once or twice. I don't really remember. Missed you too, Charlie. You sent me a voice message not too long ago on Instagram, and it made me profoundly happy. For some reason, I got stage fright when it came to sending you one back, but I really appreciated it, and I loved hearing your voice. Dad says, hi, sister. That's my sister, Kim. She's here. That's pretty cool. My dad and my sister, my childhood friends. Yeah, this is so great. I'm having a good time. You guys doing all right? All right, let's spin the wheel. Yay, a poem. Let's go to the poetry, but go to. She walks in beauty like the night, of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and in her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face where thoughts serenely sweet express. How pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days and goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. That was She Walks in Beauty Like the Night by Lord Breyer. I do shows every Sunday. Thanks for, I said do. I do shows every Sunday, Chris. That's right, 11 o'clock. That's my new hobby as I'm semi-retired in stand-up comedy. Let's spin the wheel. That's the wrong button. But you can see Chris asked if I do shows every Sunday. Yes, I do. And I plan on doing some during the daytime and the weekdays too, if I can get a little bit of a following going. This is pretty great, though. This is the single most active chat we've ever had on one of these shows, so my congratulations to you, Mill Watchers, for making it historical. All right, let's try again. Monologue! All right, let's go back to the theater. Now, we've done several, in my opinion, very, very funny comedy monologues. Let's see if we can't find something interesting, a little bit closer to dramatic. Here we go. This is from Good Night and Good Luck. It was written by a guy whose name I didn't write down. Edward R. Murrow. There it is. Let me find it. Our history will be what we make it. Now, this might just do nobody any good. At the end of this discourse, a few people may accuse this reporter of fouling his old and comfortable nest, and your organization may be accused of having given hospitality to heretical and even dangerous ideas. But the elaborate structure of networks, advertising agencies, and sponsors will not be shaken or altered. It is my desire, if not my duty, to try to talk to you, journeymen, with some candor about what is happening to radio and television. And if what I say is responsible, I alone am responsible for the saying of it. Our history will be what we make of it. And if there are any historians about 50 or 100 years from now, and there should be preserved the kinescopes of 1 week of all 3 networks, they will there find recorded in black and white and in color evidence of decadence, escapism, and insulation from the realities of the world in which we live. We are currently wealthy, fat, comfortable, and complacent. we have a built-in allergy to unpleasant or disturbing information, our mass media reflects this. But unless we get up off our fat surpluses and recognize that television, in the main, is being used to distract, delude, amuse, and insulate us, then television and those who finance it, those who look at it, and those who work at it may see a totally different picture. Too late. I began by saying that our history will be what we make it. But if we go on as we are, then history will take its revenge, and retribution will not limp in catching up with us. Just once in a while, let us exalt the importance of ideas and information. Let us dream to the extent of saying that on a given Sunday night, a time normally occupied by Ed Sullivan is given over to a clinical survey on the state of American education. And a week or two later, a time normally used by Steve Allen is devoted to a thoroughgoing study of American policy in the Middle East. Would the corporate image of their respective sponsors be damaged? Would the shareholders rise up in their wrath and complain? Would anything happen other than a few million people would have received a little illumination on subjects that may well determine the future of this country, and therefore the future of the corporations? To those who say people wouldn't look, they wouldn't be interested, they're too complacent, indifferent, and insulated, I can only reply, there is, in one reporter's opinion, considerable evidence against that contention. But even if they are right, what have they got to lose? Because if they are right, and this instrument is good for nothing but to entertain, amuse, and insulate, then the tube is flickering now, and we will soon see that the whole struggle is lost. This instrument can teach, it can illuminate, and yes, it can even inspire. But it can only do so to the extent that humans are determined to use it towards those ends. Otherwise, it is merely wires and lights in a box. Good night, and good luck. Edward R. Murrow. How about that? Let's go back to the chat. Now, Red asked, this monologue changed the United States so much that there are schools named after him. Where is our Edward R. Murrow of today? I think the closest we have is Jon Stewart. And, he's over, they gave him a pile of money on Apple TV, so I don't even get to see what he's doing over there. But yeah, not a lot of journalistic integrity left. Not a lot of money in journalism. It's not supposed to be a money-making. Don't get me started. I'm trying to be positive. Our Edward R. Murrow is Edward R. Murrow. We can still watch him and quote him and love him. Let's spin the wheel. Monologue. Wow, a lot of monologues today. I'm going to do a song. Take that wheel. I picked up a whole bunch of new Adam Sandler songs for fun so that we can mix it up on the darker days. Here's an Adam Sandler song. I think it's probably his most famous. You probably saw the video which starred Chris Farley. Ladies and gentlemen, Lunch Lady Land. Woke up in the morning, put on my new plastic glove, served some reheated Salisbury steak with a little slice of love. Got no clue what the chicken pot pie is made of, just know everything's doing fine down here in Lunch Lady Land. Well, I'll wear this net on my head, 'cause my red hair is falling out. And I'll wear these brown orthopedic shoes, 'cause I got a bad case of the gout. I know you want seconds on the corn dogs, but there's no reason to shout. Everybody gets enough food down here in Lunch Lady Land. Well, yesterday's meatloaf is today's sloppy Joe. And my breath reeks of tuna, and there's lots of black hairs growing out of my nose. In Lunch Lady Land, your dreams come true. Clouds made of carrots and peas. Mountains built of shepherd's pie, and rivers made of macaroni and cheese. But don't forget to return your trays, and try to ignore my gum disease. No student can escape the magic of lunch lady land. Oh, hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans. Hoagies and grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy beans, meatloaf sandwich, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, hooah, slap a Joe, slap a Joe. Slap a Joe, slap a Joe. Well, I dreamt one morning that I woke up to see all the pepperoni pizza was looking at me. You screamed, why do you burn me and serve me up cold? I said, I got the spatula, just do as you're told. Then the liver and onion started joining the fight, and the chocolate pudding pushed me with all its might, and the chop suey slapped me and it kicked me in the head. It's called revenge lunch, lady, said the garlic bread. I said, what did I do to make you all so mad? I said, you got flabby arms and your breath is bad. The green bean said you better run and hide, and then my friend Sloppy Joe came and joined my side. He said, if it wasn't for the lunch lady, the kids wouldn't eat you. You should be shaking her hand and saying, pleased to meet you. She gives you a purpose and she gives you a goal. You should be kissing her feet and kissing her mole. Now all the angry foods just leave me alone, and we all live together in a happy home. Thanks to Sloppy Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, hooah, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe, slap a Joe. Well, me and Sloppy Joe got married. We got 6 kids and we're doing just fine down in lunch lady land. Adam Sandler, everybody. Let's hear it for the brilliant Adam Sandler. Lunch lady. More Shakespeare. All right. Already done 2 sonnets, and that's frankly 1 sonnet too many for our policy. So let us do Friends, Roman Countrymen. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Thou art filled to Brutus' beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me. And scene. That's good stuff. Too bad they stabbed that guy. All right. Now, Red said, we already talked about that. Charlie said, don't worry yourself about the stage fright. On the contrary, I become bold on very rare occasions and start talking to people. Well, I'm always thrilled to hear from you. And hey, let me say this. You're one of my favorite people in the world. And every day I open up my little thing and it says, Charlie C. left a new video. And I'm like, oh, good, I'm going to get to see Charlie C.'s face. And then I go through and it's a picture of a scone. And I like scones, but can't you hold it up here? I miss your face. You know, Red says that all money is an opinion, not news. I'm 110% correct. That's not bad. Now, Kim says she's on the Conquest in Nassau today. I can't believe the Conquest is still hanging in there. That's really cool. And Nassau also can't believe it's still hanging in there. How you doing, Kim? I miss you. Okay, let's spin the wheel. We already did Ask Me Anything, but if anybody has anything they'd like to ask, write the word Q, the letter Q at the beginning of it, and I will answer your question. What a joke! Yay! I love jokes. Oh, I got one classic for you. Hold up. A man goes into confession. He sits down, he says to the priest, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I recently met a woman. This is an old man. He said, recently I met a woman, about 20 years old, beautiful, blonde, incredible shape. I think she's a dancer, and I had really lustful thoughts. And the priest says, well, yes, lusting can be a serious sin. And the man says, no, I'm not finished yet. After I had the thoughts, we talked, we fell in love. I forgot to do the voice. We fell in love, made mad, passionate love. And, well, that can be a sin, sure. How long has it been since your last confession? The old man says, this is my first confession. I've never had one before. And I'm Jewish. The priest says, you're Jewish? Then why are you telling me this? The man says, I'm telling everybody. I'm telling everybody. Classic. More face incoming. Hey, you know what? I'm having a great show. I'm glad you're all here. I tell you what I want you to do. Think of anything you want to talk about, TV shows, whatever. Just pretend it's like a 3-minute Ask Me Anything. I'm going to put up a video real quick of me performing at the Booth Theater where I'm going to be doing my show, not my show, but a show this coming Tuesday. I hope you enjoy. Let's go to the movie house. Like I said, it's me doing some stand-up comedy in front of a fantastic audience. Oh, thank you, son. Thank you, Dad. Not quite done yet, but if you got to go, I understand. So this is, check the slow zoom to color. I'm very proud of that, too. All right, let's play this thing, and then I'll be right back. It's going to be awesome. This way right here. Hold on. I just got to push this one button. I don't know which button it is. I'm trying to find the right button. A little ASMR as I find the button. Nope. Take over dog. Friendly robot. What's that say? The movie. That's it. Okay. Shh.
He's done a couple things. He's been around the block. He has opened for Jeff Dunham. You know Jeff LaFave. Yeah. Jim Gaffigan. And the Muppets. What? Where do you go from the Muppets? Here. That's right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his 20th year in celebration, of course, performing from the United States of America, Johnny Millwater.
You guys just relax and stare at me like I'm dating your daughter. Hi! Thank you so much for coming. Do me a favor. Join me in giving a huge round of applause. Oh, so much this show because I actually watch the show when I'm not on stage. I absolutely love dance because I think it's as close as human beings can get to beauty. But I do stand-up, and it's not. I don't do beauty. That's why I'm in the suit. It's because I don't look like the... You want to feel fat. You share a dressing room with these people. They're doing handstands and whatnot. I'm back there getting out of the chair, sounding like an otter, giving birth to an animal that's not an otter. And the suit, this is why I'm wearing the suit, by the way. It's not because I think I'm cool or I'm fancy. It's because I know I'm fat, I'm sweaty, and my body makes people sad. So, layers. But I appreciate all of you being here tonight. It's such a pleasure to be playing in Charlotte. I love Charlotte, North Carolina. This is where I live. I grew up in Tampa, Florida. Anybody ever been to Tampa? Yeah! Anybody ever been back? No! It's because it's awful. It's like a Walmart on the surface of the sun. You know what they call people from Tampa? They call us Tampons. I don't care for that. Makes people think we're stuck up. We're warming up now. So now I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I love living in the South. I love the people. I love the weather. And I do truly believe that the South will rise again. It will. But when it does, its national anthem is going to be in Spanish. It's not a joke. But I love living here. The only thing I don't like about living in the South, honestly, there's one thing. I can't get a decent chicken sandwich on Sundays because I'm too stupid to remember that Chick-fil-A is closed. Every Sunday, I can't get it into my head. How long do I have to spend in that drive-thru feeling stupid? Because Chick-fil-A is closed on... Okay, a couple blank stares out there. Maybe you folks are too upper class for the fast food. Maybe you're visiting from a land without Chick-fil-A. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome and check it out. Chick-fil-A is a restaurant we have in the United States, mostly in the South, where they make delicious chicken sandwiches with not one, but 2 pickles. Because you deserve it. That's right, 2 pickles. That's it. No lettuce, no tomato, no sauce, no onions. 2 pickles. Shut up. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And they have an advanced ketchup distribution system, and they have a delicious potato product that's crunchy and yummy. They call them waffle fries, but they shouldn't call them waffle fries because they have nothing in common with waffles. They don't look like waffles, they don't taste like waffles, they don't smell like waffles, they don't feel like waffles. They sound like waffles, but so does the Statue of Liberty. They look like somebody gave a switchblade and a potato to Salvador Dali and said, "Go nuts!" Salvador Dali is a surrealist painter. And, very good. You gotta Google. And yes, and they have excellent customer service, and they hate gay people, and there's a slide for the kids. And that's Chick-fil-A. That's what you need to know. I like to eat there. I disagree with their politics, but I like their food, so I eat there. Unless it's Sunday, and they're closed. And obviously they're closed on Sundays because God hates chicken. That's exactly right. So it is written, Leviticus 11:24, all fowl that crawl upon the earth. God hates chicken. That's why he calls them fowl, because God hates chicken. That is why he gave them wings, but denied them the gift of flight. Because in the eyes of the Almighty, chicken is an abomination, and that is why we hide eggs on Easter morning. God didn't hate chicken, he wouldn't have taught cows how to spell. Even poorly. Closed on Sundays. What is this, 1774? Are you trying to tell me? I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to, I respect the religion and everything, but you telling me Chick-fil-A can't find a Jew to make chicken sandwiches 1 day a week? A straight Jew, fine. A straight Jewish person make chicken sandwiches 1 day a week. As far as I'm concerned, that's what makes America great. We've got everybody, so we can all do our thing. Jews rest on Saturdays. Christians rest on Sundays. Muslims rest on Fridays. Buddhists and Hindus rest whenever they get tired. Agnostics? Who knows? Atheists Back to work, heathens. No rest for the wicked. Yeah, that Chick-fil-A joke took a weird turn, didn't it? That was exciting, wasn't it? Didn't see that coming. Gotta keep you guessing. Oh, you guys are amazing. I only got a little bit of time to play with you tonight. I'm going to come back down again a little bit later, but I'd like to share something with you. Something I've been working on. As Rachel mentioned, it's my 20th anniversary in show business, and I wanted to celebrate. Thank you very much. But you can probably tell by looking. What's that? Retired. My kid's here, so I can't curse at you, but I'm sure you can imagine what I'm thinking to myself. That hurt more than you know, random lady. I don't know who you are, but that's going to take me a good beat to shake off. And some medication, so thank you for that. That felt good. Don't talk anymore. You misunderstood the whole thing. If you get bored, I see you got your phone out there. I want you to look up the word monologue. It's important. Pay special attention to the Latin root of mono. Anywho, 20 years in show business, so I thought, it's my first heckler, who'd have thought? But I wanted to celebrate. You can probably tell by looking at me, I'm a song and dance man at heart, trapped in the body of a coma patient. So, there's not much dance, but there's a song. I wrote a song, and it's everything I know about the art of stand-up comedy. It's sort of my life story in comedy. It's just a couple minutes long. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I sincerely hope you enjoy it. But to do it, I'm going to bring out on stage some members of Caroline Solutions Company. Can we have a big round of applause for the dancers coming out right now? I sincerely hope you enjoy it. It's called Modern Day Comedian. It's based on a song from Pirates of Penzance. Enjoy. May I please have Modern Day Comedian? Feel free to take pictures and video of this as much as you want, because I'll never get through this again. Okay. I am the very model of a modern day comedian. I'm funniest to those of you with IQs higher median. I always tell the truth, so all my stories are relatable. I try to look my best, but that's a subject that's debatable. I've studied all the works of Cosby, Carlin, and Andrew Gaffigan. The wit of Brian Regan makes me laugh and makes me laugh again. With history of comedy, I'm teeming with a lot of news. With many poignant facts about the false arrest of Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce convened in the 1960s and put him in jail for cussing and talking about religion on stage. Now all of us do it. I prize originality, I write my own material about a range of subjects, some mundane and some ethereal. Sure, for those of you possessing IQs higher median, I'm the very model of a modern day comedian. Everybody! I've lived out of a suitcase on the road since I was 17. I've read a lot of jokes and all the jokes I write are evergreen. I've tried my hands at performance of every known variety. In fact, I worked so hard I had a heart attack at 33. That's true. My insecurities are far too numerous to counter you. But rest assured that I've endured an embarrassing night or two. My brain's got more bad wires than a 1980s microchip. I overcompensate with my exaggerated showmanship. Yeah! Body language, facial expressions, slides, journey, occasionally, not often, jazz hands. Point the towel! I've done my best tonight to rest my ego and my vanity and think forward with the pockets of question my sanity. Sure, for those of you possessing IQs higher median, I'm the very model of a modern day comedian. Only 8 more minutes! My point of view is merely of the absurd and observational. My writing style is far more precise than conversational. I equally offend both the religious and the secular, and I can tell on sight a harmless drunkard from a heckler. Happy premises and street jokes, I am far more variat. In business matters, I have more horse sense than secretariat. I never pick on the front row because I love my audience. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not ashamed to pander when I want to cheap up audience. How many round of applause for all the hard workers here? Backstage crew, the dancers, and the United States of America! I understand the difference between sarcasm and irony, and after every show I secretly hope they don't fire me. Sure, for those of you possessing IQs higher median, I'm the very model of a modern day comedian. Thank you very much, everybody!
I'm talking about. Ah, real life theater. I love it. I absolutely love it. My background's still not quite right. It doesn't matter so much. Let's see if I can turn it on. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love Pirates of Penzance. First show I ever saw was Pirates of Penzance when my sister Kim was in it. And I thought that song was the coolest thing I ever heard. So I spent months and months and months and months, and that was my family show closer for almost 10 years. Well, 5 years, actually, because it took me a long time to write it. Well, we're almost out of time. Let's spin the wheel one more time and see where it takes us. Wait, I'll cut. Best joke ever. Thank you. I know Red's very kind to me. Charlie said she could listen to my material all day, every day, which is very sweet. And Julia loves Pirates of Penzance, because how can you not? One more spin the wheel. Let's see what we've done so far. Hey, Mark Horowitz is here. Oh my goodness gracious, look at all this. Julia, wait, I'm going back to the chat. Goodness gracious. After that, Red said there's a special place in hell for comedians who pick on the front row. I hate them. I don't like it either. Unless you know, as long as you're kind. You can involve them, but making fun. Ooh, hiccup, that'll make it challenging. It's supposed to be joyful, you know? Mark Horowitz, who is a mentor of mine from my magician days in Tampa, Florida, and the father of one of the best magicians I've ever met, and a great magician in his own right. Very nice to see you, Mr. Horowitz. It's been too long. Thank you so much for the... Thank you so much for the encouragement. And Stephen Williams, the best of the modern day comedians. Stephen Williams is my heart attack buddy. He is a brilliant comedian and actor and all-around cool guy in Scotland, and I'm very much looking forward to you. I'm coming to visit Scotland the first week of May, and I want to see all the Williamses that are in country, because I really, really miss you guys, and I want my wife to meet you, because you guys are amazing. For those of you who don't know, Stephen Williams, follow him on the Facebook. Michelle Williams is his sister. Follow her on all social media. Amanda Williams is his sister, brilliant singer-performer. Follow her. And then there's various other guys. I don't know, brother or something. Whatever. But they're an amazing family, and I miss them, and I sincerely hope to see you soon. I'm glad you stopped in. Wow, that's fun. All right, we got time for one more thing before we go. Let's go back to the wheel and see what we haven't done yet. Let's see, we did a joke, we did a poem, we did songs, no riddles, but we can live without that. Several monologues, didn't talk about my feelings, but nobody needs me to do that. Short story, yeah, I would like a short story. Let's go to the theater. This is The Eyes Have It by Philip K. Dick. Wonderful science fiction writer. I've been watching his TV series. There's a TV series on Amazon called Electric Sheep, which is a Twilight Zone. It's an anthology science fiction series, very much like the Twilight Zone, but based on Philip K. Dick. And it's good. I enjoyed it. There's one with Steve Buscemi that was particularly nice. Let's go. The Eyes Have It by Philip K. Dick. It was quite by accident I discovered this incredible invasion of Earth by life forms from another planet. As yet, I haven't done anything about it. I can't think of anything to do. I wrote the government, and they sent back a pamphlet on the repair and maintenance of frame houses. Anyhow, this whole thing is known. I'm not the first to discover it. Maybe it's even under control. I was sitting in my easy chair, idly turning the pages of a paperbacked book someone had left on the bus, when I came across the reference that first put me on the trail. Now, for a moment, I didn't respond. It took me some time for the full import to sink in. After I'd comprehended, it seemed odd I hadn't noticed it right away. The reference was clearly to a non-human species of incredible properties, not indigenous to Earth. A species, I hasten to point out, customarily masquerading as ordinary human beings. Their disguise, however, became transparent in the face of the following observations by the author. I was at once obvious the author knew everything, and was taking it in his stride. The line, and I tremble remembering it even now, read, His eyes slowly roved around the room. Vague chills assailed me. I tried to picture the eyes. Did they roll like dimes? The passage indicated not. They seemed to move through the air, not over the surface, rather rapidly, apparently. No one in the story was surprised. That's what tipped me off. No sign of amazement at such an outrageous thing. Later, the matter was amplified. His eyes moved from person to person. There it was in a nutshell. The eyes had clearly come apart from the rest of them and were there on her own. My heart pounded and my breath choked in my windpipe. I had stumbled upon an accidental mention of a totally unfamiliar race, obviously non-terrestrial. Yet, to the characters in the book, it was perfectly natural, which suggested they belonged to the same species. And the author? A slow suspicion burned in my mind. The author was taking it rather too easily in his stride. Evidently, he felt this was quite a usual thing. He made absolutely no attempt to conceal this knowledge. The story continued. Presently, his eyes fastened on Julia. Julia, being a lady, had at least the breeding to feel indignant. She is described as blushing and knitting her brows angrily. At this, I sighed with relief. They weren't all non-terrestrials. The narrative continues. Slowly, calmly, his eyes examined every inch of her. Great Scott! But here the girl turned and stomped off, and the matter ended. I lay back in my chair, gasping with horror. My wife and family regarded me in wonder. "What's wrong, dear?" my wife asked. I couldn't tell her. Knowledge like this was too much for the ordinary run-of-the-mill person. I had to keep it to myself. "Nothing," I gasped. I leaped up, snatched the book, and hurried out of the room. In the garage, I continued reading. There was more. Trembling, I read the next revealing passage. He put his arm around Julia. Presently, she asked him if he would remove his arm. He immediately did so with a smile. It's not said what was done with the arm after the fellow had removed it. Maybe it was left standing upright in the corner. Maybe it was thrown away. I don't care. In any case, the full meaning was there, staring me right in the face. Here was a race of creatures capable of removing portions of their anatomy at will. Eyes, arms, and maybe more, without batting an eyelash. My knowledge of biology came in handy at this point. Obviously, they were simple beings, unicellular, some sort of primitive single-celled things, beings no more developed than starfish, but starfish can do the same thing, you know. I read on and came to this incredible revelation, tossed off coolly by the author without the faintest tremor. Outside the movie theater, we split up. Part of us went inside, part over to the cafe for dinner. Binary fission! Obviously, splitting in half and forming two entities. Probably each lower half went to the cafe, it being farther, and the upper half to the movies. I read on, hands shaking. I had really stumbled onto something here. My mind reeled as I made out this passage. I'm afraid there's no doubt about it. Poor Bibney has lost his head again. Which was followed by, and Bob says he has utterly no guts. Yet Bibney got around as well as the next person. The next person, however, was just as strange. He was described as totally lacking in brains. There was no doubt of the thing in the next passage. Julia, whom I had thought to be the one normal person, reveals herself also as an alien life form similar to the rest. Quite deliberately, Julia had given her heart to the young man. It didn't relate what the final disposition of the organ was, but I didn't really care. It was evident Julia had gone right on living in her usual manner, like all the others in the book, without heart, arms, eyes, brains, viscera, dividing up in two when the occasion demanded, without a qualm. Thereupon she gave him her hand. I sickened. The rascal now had her hand as well as her heart. I shuddered to think what he's done with them by this time. He took her arm. Not content to wait, he had to start dismantling her on his own. Flushing crimson, I slammed the book shut and leaped to my feet, but not in time to escape one last reference to those carefree bits of anatomy whose travels had originally thrown me on the track. Her eyes followed him all the way down the road and across the meadow. I rushed from the garage and back inside the warm house as if the accursed things were following me. My wife and children were playing Monopoly in the kitchen. I joined them with frantic fervor, brow feverish, teeth chattering. I had had enough of the thing. I wanted to hear no more about it. Let them come on. Let them invade Earth. I don't want to get mixed up. I have absolutely no stomach for it. And scene. How about that Philip K. Dick, everybody? Made a great life out of himself with a very, very difficult name to live with, I assume. organize something that's so exciting, I'm excited too. Whoa, oh, look at all this. All right, one more time. Let's check back to the talk show desk. Thank you so much for watching. I had a great time today. I hope you had a few laughs too. We'll be back next Sunday with new poems and fun. Welcome to all the new people who stuck their head in for the first time. It means a lot to me to sort of flash back and see the old friends. If you're in Charlotte, don't forget to come check out the final show for the March Mania Comedy Tournament, which is Tuesday at Booth Theater at 8 o'clock. Might be 7. You should look it up. Till next time, remember, there's only one way for us to save ourselves, and that's for everyone to love one another. So love yourself first, then love somebody else. Then, if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. Sing along if you know the words, folks. We'll meet again. Don't know where, I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.